Afternoon, yes.
Afternoon.
Okay, Rizka is on the way here. Right, so welcome to Book Brewers November edition. Yay, you've made it to another month of the 2020. All right, so individually, we all have read our favorite book, and it's time to share about what we learned. Because actually, by telling other people what we learned, it will what is it? It will become memorable even in our own brain. So we create more connections in our neurons here. So we will remember it better too if we tell other people. Right, and then I have some prescribed questions to help us explaining about the book. But if you don't want to follow this particular order, it's also fine. It's really up to you. So everybody will given a chance, and also everybody have freedom to ask the person who is presenting. Okay, like I've said before, Fajar has
Yes.
very limited time. He has to get one. So I will give the time and the chance for Fajar first. Yes, apa tuh Fajar?
Oh, me directly. Okay. Wait. Okay. So can I share my screen? I make a
Yes,
very
yes.
simple. Uh, okay. So today we have 7 people. So good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Fajar. I am from Bandung. I know this book club from Pipit, and it's been, I think, third times I come to this club. Okay, so today I would like to discuss about the tiny small changes, the tiny small changes, habits that change. So I know that many of us, I'm pretty sure that many of us has some habits that we want to develop. Maybe like waking at 4 or 5:30, not too late, or stop playing with gadget when it's already very late, or so many things, yeah. And actually I have read so many books in personal development, but I think that this book is one of the most practical, one of the most useful, and it has some direct result in my own personal life. Okay, so what is the first question is oh yeah, what is the best key point from this book? Well, uh, as the title of the book, it's about tiny habits, right? So the point is, if we want to create a new habit, we have to make it as tiny as possible, as easy as possible, but we have to make a reminder as much as possible. I think it's, oh yeah. Okay, so oke. Wah, nge-lag ya. Wah, udahlah PPT-nya keluar. Okay, anyway.
Keep sharing.
So,
We want to also study the diagram.
wait. The PPT,
I was about to take pictures.
Yeah.
wait,
So we can see you at the same time, Fajar. Don't worry. We
the
still pay
PPT
attention
was
to you.
error. Please wait a minute. Okay, so maybe some of you have read about the power of habit or atomic habit. Where is it? Oh my God, it's not safe. Holy crap. Okay, I will just share the screen, yeah. Okay, I will discuss about it. I'll discuss it directly. What is that? Tiny habits. Okay, so basically, the most important point is you have to make your new habit stupidly simple, incredibly simple. So there is a formula in this book that this book teach us. So first, it's about M times A times P. So M means motivation. So let's say that you, in 2 months we will have New Year, and probably we will have New Year resolution. But usually most people after 2 weeks they have lost the motivation, right? We are too lazy to go to the gym, let's say, or to do tasks that we should do. So the point is, there is a line of motivation, right? Yeah. So the point is, uh, if the task that we want to do is too hard, then we will lose the motivation, right? So what we have to do is to keep it high by make the task very, very easy. So in my case, that since I was young, I hate doing exercise. It's just me. So my solution for me is just to do exercise 5 minutes or like 5 push-up or 10 push-up. I don't care how many times. Or sometimes if I'm too lazy, damn lazy, I just do one push-up and then it's done. And but as the result, I have completed the exercise habits for I don't know, like 2 weeks or more because how easy the habit is. Later on, after we have established the habit, we can add more sets in the exercise. So the point is make it super easy. And oh yeah, it is related to ability and motivation. Yeah, I think it's about ability. Yeah, easy to do. Yeah, it's not motivations. Oh yeah, I think the book mentioned that the motivation is something that is not that is changing after we watch a motivational video. Maybe we have high motivation, but if we come back from work very late and we are very tired, our motivation is right here. So usually the motivation is out of our control. It's very hard to control. What we can do is to focus on the ability. We can make it easy to do instead of hard to do to make sure that we do the habit. And the last one is the prompts. The prompts is how often how we remember about our habit. So sometimes I forget to do exercise, or sometimes I forget to do meditation, not because it's difficult, because I just simply forget. So the solution is that we have to make a reminder as many as possible. Uh, or the second habit is that and the second tips is to to stick one habit with another habit. So usually after I wake up, I always immediately meditate for 15 minutes, and that's about it. And it's been successful. I never I never not doing it, and it's been very easy to create this new habit. I have done like 3 weeks of successive meditation every morning. So so basically, if you have some habit, combine it with the new habit that you want to learn to and make it very easy so that you make sure that you don't procrastinate and you keep doing it after the new habit. Okay, so I think that this book is very interesting and very practical. You can just get it from, the Canlib to download it as usual. There is no Indonesian version for that, unfortunately. Uh, what I don't really don't what is the what some part that I don't really like. Maybe not the not maybe not I don't like, but this book is more focused on creating new habit. It doesn't really focus on breaking bad habit, but it's fine because bad habit has, I think, different challenges. Yeah. And in my opinion, this book is 4.5. It's really cool and very practical. I really recommend you to read about that. I think even if you just read the review, can get the essence of this, and you can just write, and you just can quickly practice the advices. What is the other two questions?
You
Um,
can check in the chat box. You want to get
okay.
people's opinion about the
Yes,
key
in the chat
lessons.
box.
What do you want to get? Do you want to get people's opinion about key lessons? What, oh, yeah, I think that uh, basically the key point is make your new habit very simple, and make the remainder as many as possible, or you can stick it with the old habit that you already have. I think that's the key point. And the last one is, what do you want to read next? Well, I'm currently reading Atomic Habits. I think actually this is like the fourth times of reading this Atomic Habit, but somehow this time I got a new insight for this time around. So that's all from me. If you have any question or anything to discuss, please, or I will give the control back to the moderator.
Thank you, Fajar. Yeah. So just a little bit of information. We have a different book club called Bookaholics. Bookaholics will read Atomic Habits together in February. So if you want to discuss about Atomic Habit, you are welcome also to join us. All right.
3 months.
So then, any questions from the floor about Fajar's book, Tiny Habits?
Fajar, have you ever read the one by Charles Duhigg?
Oh yeah, Power of Habit. Yeah, I know.
Which one do you think is better?
I much prefer this book, this Tiny Habits, because Power of Habit is cool, but it's not really practical. It's more about the explanation about the habits.
Okay.
If you are a researcher, it's good, but if you want to focus on practicing that, this book is better.
Because most reviews said that Charles Duhigg was some kind of he's the pioneer of making books about habits, and then James Clear came up with the same idea but published the book few years later, and I don't know which year was this one published. You know about that?
What I know is that the Atomic Habit is the latter one. The book, the Power of the Power of Habit is the earlier one.
Okay, thank you, Fajar.
I personally much prefer books that is practical instead of just good to know, but not very easy to use.
I'm curious to know when you finally read the Atomic Habits, and which one do you prefer? Because Atomic Habits by far is the most applicable towards everything, and because James Clear was an athlete, so we can grab some of his attention and focus of him when he was being an athlete, because the motivation, the disciplines and stuff, and we can have most of his insights from his personal experience. So okay, later on we'll discuss
maybe
about
we can discuss about that on.
Thank you, Fajar.
So Fajar, I have a question as well.
Yes.
There are so many books about habits, right? And the titles almost similar as well.
Yes.
Sometimes we get confused which one to choose from. How did you arrive at the decision to choose this book, Tiny Changes That Change Everything?
So I have read quite many books about habits because I know I have some bad habits. The Power of Habits is already done, Atomic Habits is already done, and the Tiny Habits is already done. And the question is, why do I choose this book? Yeah, because I much prefer books that is very practical, very easy to use. Sometimes when we read about self-development book, we are motivated and we are inspired for one day or 2 days, but we forget about it after 1 week, right? So that's the biggest problem. So that's why I want to focus more on the practical stuff, something that we can use directly. Okay.
Thank you, Fajar. Any other question? Maybe one more?
I don't say that the other book is not good, but it's just that if you read all of them, it will create new result in your brain.
Okay, I have one more request, Fajar. Can you show the presentation again from your own slides? And so we can snapshot.
Actually, I didn't save it.
Oh my goodness. It's like losing a manuscript.
Okay, just redo it again, send it out.
Yeah, but he put something beside it, so it's not just the diagram.
Okay.
You put
okay,
something
so
beside it. I
Wait,
think.
hang on. You are recording the message. You are recording this meeting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can watch
Okay,
the
that was my blind
recording.
spot. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
That's okay. I'm just reading, recording above your head. So it's
Yeah.
easy
I'm
for.
too focused right now. I cannot even see outside this 4 centimeters of screen. All right. So thank you, Fajar. Yay. You close
Okay.
to Fajar.
By the way, I have to prepare
Oh.
my speech for my club meeting, yeah. So
Yeah.
I have to go earlier.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think we probably are willing to even make our schedule earlier for Fajar. So if we start at 11, if no one complains about it, I think probably we can for next time. Yeah. All right. See you next
Okay.
time, Fajar.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good luck for your speech. Okay. Then I will. Okay, guys. So sorry, I have 2 audios, just like Diaz. One for uh, voice,
One
and
for
the other
backup.
is for yes. So is it okay after Fajar me going?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So I will talk about the book I read recently. So previously I wanted to talk about Nudge, but I changed my mind. We'll talk about moonshots. Oh, wait. Okay, use loon shots. It's about radical, how to nurture crazy ideas that win wars, cure diseases, and transform industries. So, first of all, I did not really have any expectations about this book, except that Bill Gates is also reading it. So the first reason that this book caught my eyes is because Bill Gates was reading it, right? And then after reading one chapter, I cried like, oh my goodness. I even posted about it on my social media because I was really touched. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I have my nieces here. Right. So after first chapter, I cried so hard because the story of how crazy ideas actually happens, actually they have to go through a lot of pain, a lot of uh, fights, a lot of perlawanan. What is perlawanan in English? Yeah, a lot of
Resistance.
resistance. Yes, a lot of resistance from a lot of people. For example, the first cure for cancer. We know cancer is not cured fully right now, but the first drugs that can control cancer was actually invented by a Japanese guy. But it took him 7 years to develop these drugs. And during these 7 years, a lot of bad things happened to him because a lot of people mocked him. They thought, they said he was crazy. It was never gonna happen. It was never gonna work. And then whenever he tried to present his idea in seminars, people left his seminars, like in the middle of presenting, because that's not gonna work. Just I bet on it, all of this. He faced a lot of humiliations. Even he got fired by his company because they thought he was failing. So he got fired. He almost committed suicide, even because no one trusted him except for his wife. And then, of course, this idea was buried, right? Because no one thought it was going to work until 2 other scientists picked up this idea. It looks promising. I wonder why it did not work, right? And then they tried again, and it works. So the one who got the credit is the other 2 scientists in America instead of this Japanese guy in Japan. I will share the name after, right? So after all of those struggles, people mocked him. A lot of people doubted him. He even lost his job. He almost committed suicide. Then people finally saw that his idea actually worked, but other people get the credit for it, because of the system. The system in the United States were more promising to develop new drugs. Basically, the source of the funding, the atmosphere of the climate of the research, they said that it was more promising for these two scientists in the United States. They even got Nobel Prize for it. And only 10 years after they got the Nobel Prize, they finally credited this Japanese guy who worked for it for 7 years. And this is like the heartbreak of loonshots. A lot of crazy ideas have to be killed for so many times by a lot of people before they actually can persevere and prove itself to work. So I think it's very touching. And there's one line in this book that I really like. It's called "Lonely is when no one cannot see what is obvious to you." You see, I think it's very touching. So obviously, the solution was obvious to this guy, right? But no one else could see it. So he was the one crazy. He was the one sounding crazy because of it. So it was the main lesson is that. And there's another story, so many stories here about Pan Am, American flight, how they used to be the giants in the aerospace airline industry, but then plummets. Also, there's also radar. So radar in the wars actually saved so many lives. The one that can win the war was not the atomic bomb, at least in World War II. Yeah, in World War I, the one that could win the war is actually radar. So because of radar, a lot of countries can prevent attacks, right? But the invention of radar took 30 years. Why? Because so many people doubted it. The funding for the research has been curbed so many times, even by the United States defense government. So the military against the research on radar because they wanted to focus on developing the weapons only, right? But after they invented radar, then they realized that actually radar was the one saving so many lives, not weapons. So this book is very inspiring in terms of if you have crazy ideas and you genuinely believe these ideas are great, do not let other people talk you out of it. So keep persevering. Good ideas will always be killed at least 3 times. They say. So a lot of good ideas will be killed at least 3 times. So if you fail 1 time, 2 times, don't be afraid. A lot of great ideas actually have to go through the same cycle. So this is the key lesson that I got from this book. What I wish it was better from the book is in the middle part of the book is very technical. The term they use is not so memorable. So they use a term like phase transition, for example. They keep mentioning Safi Bahkal. I messaged him on IG, by the way, and then kept using very technical term to explain his theory, like phase transition, and then there's also franchise transition. So it's the type of words that do not conjure imagination, or it takes a long time to remember. And I keep referring back to it. Oh, what does it mean again? It's just like the reading was not smooth, I would say. That's the weakness of this book. But I will give the star is 5 out of 5. So this is the only 3 books I read in 2020. They got 5 stars. The only 3 books, yeah, one of the 3. And then do you want to get people's opinion about the lesson? Yes. So do you have any crazy idea right now that you think people will doubt it or people will kill your idea? Anyone here want to share?
I'd like to comment.
Yes,
not answering your question, but
yeah,
commenting on the book. So from what you just explained, it reminds me of a concept in 1021, one of the book that I read recently. Peter Thiel calls the concept secret. Secret is something that you believe in and you know, but most people still do not know or not widely believe. And actually, all successful companies or movement are built on secrets. For example, Bill Gates and Paul Allen built Microsoft based on the secret that microcomputer will become huge. And then Facebook on social network, Instagram on smartphone camera, and so on. So those are secrets. And second thing, based on your story about the Japanese inventor, right? This one is from the book that I just read. It's about timing. So sometimes the idea is great, but the timing is not right. For example, Apple released a device called Apple Newton. It was like iPad, but 20 years too fast, too soon. Still in 1993. So it's not ready yet. There is no wide internet connection, broadband. So it failed because it's a good idea, but too soon. So timing is an important issue. Yeah, only those two comments from me, secret and timing.
I would like to
go, Nadia.
I would like to build on that. I didn't think about the importance of timing. I actually completely agree with that. What I had in mind previously was actually the difference between having good idea and being able to convey the idea so that then you can convince people to, to get on board. So this is why it reminds me of one of the books by Chip Heath. He mentioned about this phenomenon called curse of knowledge, like something that is so obvious for you and you expect people to see that as clear as you do, as clear as you are able to see it, but then it's basically, that's not how it works. So yeah, I think I was initially thinking that maybe it's a matter of how to convey the message. I always believe that those are like two important skills for entrepreneurs to have. Like, first you need to have the idea, like a very killer ideas, I don't know, I'm losing my English, like one important ideas that can actually solve problems. But then you also need the skill to deliver the message that this idea actually works, so that then people can understand how to use it. So it's I see it as two different things, and I completely agree. I think Donald also mentioned another important point about the timing as well. Yeah, love it. Thank you, Pipit, for sharing.
Thank you, Nadia. And then I think some time ago we also talked about Vincent van Gogh, right? Vincent van Gogh's paintings were also ahead of its time. So during Vincent van Gogh time, he even died poor because no one think his paintings was great. It's actually sold very cheap and he couldn't find customers. But then fast forward 50 years, 100 years, then it's become one of the most expensive paintings. So I think timing is really important here too. And I have one more question for everyone here. How do you differentiate between perseverance and stubbornness? Stubborn means you're wrong, but you keep doing it. Or perseverance means you're right, that's why you keep fighting. How do you know the difference? Anyone?
I'd like to add another element to that, Pipit, and that is luck.
Oh, explain further.
Yeah, what I'm holding here, you can't see. Yeah, this is Post-it notes.
Okay.
Yeah, Post-it notes. Everybody knows yellow Post-it notes.
We do.
This is pink. It doesn't show. Yeah, this was an accident. They were trying to develop a glue to stick things together permanently, and it didn't work. They had a problem with the mixture. And then somebody in, I think, 3M said, hey, maybe we can use this for something different to what we're looking for. Yeah, this is now, everybody knows Post-it notes in the world. And so this was pure luck. Yeah, it was a failure for what it was being trialed for, but has made a fortune for somebody. Yeah, maybe the inventor got nothing. Yeah, he was an employee. He'd signed a non-disclosure agreement, and he got maybe a pay rise, you know, $200, and somebody's made millions out of that invention. So yeah, I mean, there is a difference. Yeah, obviously.
I'm reminded. May I share my?
Sure. Keep going, Nadia. Go.
No, I'm reminded immediately of the conversation between Brian Greene and Neil deGrasse Tyson in an interview. So Brian Greene is a string theorist, and he basically has been working on it for, I don't know, decades. But there is no, like, it's still in a theory, if I understand it correctly. I think it's still in a theory that not yet proven on experimental sphere. And in that conversation, very interestingly and very bluntly, Neil deGrasse Tyson said, "Oh, is it possible that you are actually just plain stupid, that you cannot solve this problem? Maybe you're just, you know, hit the roadblock and stop and find something else." And then Brian Greene said that if I don't make progress, then maybe you're right. Maybe I should have stopped because I'm too stupid to handle this. But I'm actually creating progress regardless that it's not yet in the output, or regardless that the output that I have created, not as I expected. Maybe it takes longer than I can even imagine. So I think maybe I'm not exactly answering the question, but as long, for me, learning from that conversation, as long as we are creating progress towards the destination that we want to go to, for me, I will still, you know, persevere in doing it. But if no progress made and it keeps on failing, maybe there's something else, you know, maybe it's not meant to be, or maybe it's not the best way to do it.
Okay, thank you, Nadia. Anyone else before we go to the next? Oh, my next book. Sorry. The next book I want to read is actually mentioned in Loonshots too, which is Nudge. I have read until chapter 2 by Richard Thaler. We read the second book about behavioral economics and misbehaving. So I'm interested to read this book, Nudge. He won Nobel Prize, by the way. And nudge has been mentioned a lot in this book too, about modifying behavior of people, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that is it from me.
Yeah, I'd like to give my answer to the question.
Okay, go.
Stubborn
Sorry,
with
go.
Perseverance, right? Okay.
Yeah, perseverance. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure if this answers your question directly, but I'm reminded of a quote by Jeff Bezos. He said, "Be stubborn on vision, be flexible on details." So we need to have a vision. Amazon is a clear example of vision. It's a very long story. But in my opinion, perseverance means you keep going after your vision. But being stubborn means you insist on a certain way to reach your vision. That is stubborn. Because in startup, I think Michael will talk about startup book, right? In startup, there is a concept called pivot. So if a certain way doesn't work, you must be willing to pivot with another way, as long as you can still reach your vision. So perseverance is for vision, as long as you keep going forward for your vision, that is perseverance. But stubbornness is insisting on a certain way to reach your vision. Okay, that's my opinion.
Wow, thank you, Donald. Another great input. So, anyone else want to have share an opinion about perseverance versus stubbornness? No? All right, okay. So let's move on to the next one. I will choose this just randomly from my screen here on counterclockwise. So the next one will be Donald. Go ahead, Donald.
Thank you, Pipit. So I'd like to share about the book that I just read. This is the book. It's the title is Super Thinking, and the subtitle is The Big Book of Mental Models. The authors are engineers, actually, both MIT graduates, husband and wife, and one of them is the founder of a search engine, DuckDuckGo, DDG. And they are inspired by Charlie Munger. I'm not sure whether I pronounced the name correctly, Munger, the Warren Buffett's partner, because Charlie Munger told in his book about the importance of mental models. So they tried to collect all mental models from dozens of fields, and they end up with 300. So actually, in my opinion, this book is like a summary of many other books, because there are so many concepts from other books that are put in one place. It's similar to Atomic Habits in a sense, because Atomic Habits actually summarize many findings related to habits. Actually, if you already read about habits before, almost all of them are already covered somewhere else, but Atomic Habits collect all of them in one place. And super thinking is similar. You can read about the mental models individually in many other places, but it collects about 300 of them in one place. So that's why I like this book, because it gives the common thread and also like a reference book. So it's like Atomic Habits, but Atomic Habits is for habit building, but this one is for decision making. So if you want to find a mental model for decision making, then most likely you can find one in this book. And it covers many areas, like for example, for organization and also personal growth and other aspects of life. Statistics. Right, so the question tells us about what is the best key lessons from it. The best key lessons for me is the importance of mental models. So when we face certain situation, usually there is a mental model. Sometimes we can apply sunk cost for a project that we have done. Sunk cost bias, there is opportunity cost, premature optimization. There are a lot of terms that we can. So if we can recognize the best mental model for that situation, that will help us save time and make effective decisions.
Yes. Pizza.
Is there anything you don't like about the book? Well, maybe because it tries to cover so many mental models, the examples for it is not deep enough, but actually it's deep enough, but yeah, you can explore further.
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Yeah.
Can you give example of the mental model, Donald?
Yep. The mental models, for example, wait, I will open my for example, critical mass and catalyst. So if you want to make a change in an organization or society, you want to create a movement, there is a concept from physics called critical mass. You need a critical mass in order to create chain reaction, actually from nuclear reaction. You need to have critical mass. If you do not have enough critical mass, in this case for nuclear reaction is uranium or plutonium, then you cannot get chain reaction. And then you need catalyst. Catalyst is from chemistry. So if you want to make it faster, you need to find some catalyst. There is also something else called central mass. Central mass is like the key factor. If you can influence this one, you can. It's much easier for you to influence the rest. So in the case of society, is if you can get some key influencers on your side, that is the central mass. It will be much faster for you to influence the rest. Yeah, those are some examples. So from physics, from chemistry, but applied to other fields.
Any weakness of the book? Anything you didn't like?
Not really. Yeah, just because of the space limitation, there is not much space for its model. But I think that is fine, because otherwise the book will be too thick, right? So not real weakness yet. But if you are interested in certain mental model, then you can explore it further. And then your rating out of 5 stars, 4.5, which is high for me. And then do you want to get people's opinion about the key lessons? the key lesson that I can share in our limited time is only the importance of mental model. So I'm not sure how can I get feedback on that. What do you want to read next?
Can I help rephrasing the question?
Okay, go.
Can you share just, I think mental models, there are different mental models, right? Maybe share just one that you think is most influential for you after reading it?
I finished the book only this morning, so I'm still digesting it. If I try to choose only one, I'm still not able, because there are, maybe okay, maybe one that come to my mind is the first principles. First principles means we try to break things down to the most basic assumptions and build up from there. First principles. So for example, I read about this from Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew, the founder of Singapore. He was interviewed once about how he built Singapore, because Singapore is out of the box. If we read the book, Why Nations Fail. No, Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore.
Oh, I thought, okay, sorry.
Yeah, the founding father of Singapore.
Okay, the Singapore one, okay.
Yeah. Because Singapore is actually kind of an anomaly. It is not a democracy in real sense, but have great progress.
In any sense.
Yeah, and Lee Kuan Yew in one of the interviews says, I always work from first principles. So he just work with some key assumptions that he thinks is right and build from there. So he doesn't care about conventional wisdom. Yeah, okay. So first principles is one of the things that I think is useful one for me. Thank you.
Number 5, what do you want to read next? Donald, what do you want to read next?
Sorry. I'm still thinking and undecided, but one of the books that I'm very interested in is A Splendid Exchange. A Splendid Exchange, the history of trade. I think it's very interesting, but I'm not final yet because it's about trade from the early BC until now. The progress. A Splendid Exchange.
Exchange?
Yes.
Like this?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right. So can somebody help me share the Goodreads link for A Splendid Exchange? And then, all right, next one. So on my screen, the next one is, thank you, Donald, by the way. All right, then the next one is Michael Ariel. So Michael Ariel, can you please share your book?
So thank you, Mbak Pipit. Thank you, Pak Donald as well. It seems that our book is almost similar, like here, but I haven't finished the book yet. So, but I think we have a very similar one. And my book today is The Lean Startup. It's a book about startup. It's actually the concept. It's not everything about the startup, but basically we can apply this to our any businesses that we would like to do, basically. So whether we are employees or we are professionals or we have our own company, if we want to start, this is a really good book, in my opinion. Why? Because many startup fails because of, this is the result of survey. It's statistic, basically. It's coming from 3 different statistics, but the biggest reasons that startup fails is because the product is not needed in the market, or the product, nobody wants the product in the market. It's almost similar as like when we throw a party, no matter how wonderful our party is, if no one comes to our party, then it will be useless. That's the same principle that we use. It's sometimes we are really focused on what kind of food do we want to serve, or where the venue is. But if no one wants, it's simply no. So this is actually connected with this, with the same survey as well. Before we creating something or or a service or a product, it's very important for us to make sure that the product itself is really needed in the market. Like people really want the product. How we do it? Actually, there are several ways to do it. For example, like we can pretend making videos, or there are actually some technicals. But the point is, before we start, we need to do the survey. However, the trickiest part, sometimes when we do survey, hey, do you like this product? Yeah, I like this. But will you buy this product? Yeah, I will buy it. But eventually, when you launch the product, no one's buy. That's the common problem. So sometimes people just answer the surveys differently compared to what they really mean to. So the first point from this book is don't ask, but observe. Because some people, many people, they don't know what they need. They think they need, or they think they want, but actually they don't. So it's the same case like Facebook. When when the first time Facebook Friendster was launched, like people didn't actually need it. But the fact now is almost everyone uses it. That's the first key takeaway. And then the second, so the first is don't ask, but observe carefully. And the second, before we waste our resources in time or in capital, it's very important for us to create the concept named MVP, minimum viable product. It's like the prototype product. It's like the minimum product that you can sell. It doesn't have to be a real product, but it's also there are some tricks that we can do. The first is the video MVP that used by Dropbox. So Dropbox, basically, they create the products telling about what can Dropbox do, and they I think the customers, their prospect customers went from 5,000 to 75,000 only from watching the video. But actually, the product was not made yet, the product. So it's basically, they only created the video. So that's how we can do some tricks on this technique. So we create some videos telling how it looks like, and like the dummy model. That's the first one. And the second one, if we want to create a product, we can also create the wizard product. So it seems like a sophisticated product, but behind it's manual. For example, like when you create the business of automatic shopping e-commerce, like e-commerce platform, for example, or you want to create a like product, it's supposed to be automatically, but before you make it automatically and sophisticated, we can do back on the behind the scenes. What's the name? Apa sih namanya? Back end. Back end. Oh yeah, sorry, the back end. The back end, we can do it manually. For example, like instead of everything automatically, or with bot and with everything intelligent AI, we do it manually. So that way we can press the cost and we can launch the product. But the basic here, the concept here, we launch the product before it's perfect. That's the core idea. Why? First, because your perfect, our perfect might not be their perfect, customer's perfect. Maybe our perfect, our best, the customer can say, no, it's not what I want. That's the first one. And the second one, by the time we finish the product perfectly, maybe the momentum already passed. It's the same as like with the iPad in 1993, with the momentum as well. So it's very important that we go with the momentum to get the snowball effects. And then the interesting thing also about pivot and perseverance, as Pak Donald mentioned before. So be strict with vision and with the flexibility. With the visions, so we can pivot during the way as long as we see there are still opportunities. So we can change the customer base. For example, the good product is not the product that is perfect, no, but the product that is suitable for the customers. So we can find another customers that another way, and then we can tweak the value. For example, like before we give it for free, or we can charge a little bit of money, like freemium product. Freemium, it's free, but it encourages you to be a premium member, for example. So there are a lot of pivot product. And don't forget that pivot is not failure, according to this book. And there is another thing I don't like about this book is this book. I think I like this book much. The thing that I don't like is I haven't found it because I haven't found it. But it can be tricky for for people because remember that when we launch something, it's not perfect, or it's something make us embarrassed. Sometimes it can affect with our reputations. So while this book encourages us to launch the product before it's ready, it's actually right in in one side, but on the other side it might be wrong because we live in the reputation for it. Especially I feel it that reputation is important. Personally, my personal opinion that the reputation is important. So if top search results, if we don't be critical with this book, it can be dangerous if you like 100% take it as it is. And out of 5 ratings, 5 stars, I would rate this book as 4 star because this book is very helpful, especially for startup. If you want to start your business or your side hustle, this is a very good read. And do you want to get people's opinion about the key lessons? Yeah, what do you think, guys? Oh, before going to number 4, it's gonna be questions and comments. What do you want to read next? It's about entrepreneurship. My next book will be a book called Hack the Entrepreneur. Hack the Entrepreneur is like it's a book that really hit my mind because I was the typical of person that really wants to catch perfection, but in the end result, I didn't go anywhere. I stay. And this book really slapped me in the face. Like you want to catch perfections, and after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you haven't even started your business because of the perfections. And many people that less knowledge, they are more successful. So I think that's the key point, that executions and you move. Dare to move. My problem is like with the perfections, I'm scared. So this book I think can encourage me. And I would like to know from your opinion about the key lesson from this book. From the Lean Startup.
Okay, the floor is open. Any feedback or questions or opinion? I do have it, but I want to give the chances for everyone. By the way, hello Mbak Imung. All right. So any response? Okay, let me start then. All right, Michael. So this book kind of what is it called? Encourage us to find the need of people by observing. Right? Correct. Because a lot of products fail because people don't need it, but we launch it anyway. Now, how do we tell the difference? Like, for example, I'm launching the mouse that can fly. For example, like so lazy to come here, mouse, and then the mouse will come to me.
Cool.
Like, is it going to be okay? I'm gonna launch something people want, but they don't know they need it yet. But if it fails, that means people don't need it. Now, how do I tell the difference?
Perfect. That's just why the concept of MVP, minimum viable product, comes in. Because you don't want to invest on engineers to create the mouse yet, or you don't want to invest in a factory yet by the time. So what we create is what the book suggests is like we create the video animations about the mouse and explain, okay, with the new mouse, welcome to the new era when you can stay lazily and your mouse can game. Look, with this mouse, you can blah, 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 for example. That's if we use the concept of video, or you can create the ugly version one. But I prefer with the video one so people can experience how it looks like. And if you're interested, pre-order. This is like the same like a ebook called the paper about the Kindle thing, but Remarkable. For example, the product called Remarkable, right? Remarkable. They already create the video like iPad style, but actually the product is not ready yet. It's pre-order. It's the same.
Is there a danger of possibility other people steal our idea? Because if the videos are out, it's not copyrighted yet. Your ideas are launched.
I remember with the Gojek CEO once mentioned the old.
You mean Donald?
Oh, Gojek. Oh, our Mendikbud.
Yeah. Donald looks like him. That's my point.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we all Donald is Nadiem Makarim.
He looks like me.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. In my mind, he looks like Donald because Donald existed in my mind first before.
Yeah, correct.
Makarim, yeah.
We were
though.
shocked when when the president announced the minister. Why Donald is becoming?
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, so like Pak Donald Makarim said before, once before he mentioned that it's not about idea, it's about execution. So they don't really care about the idea actually. Basically, it is the same. Like in this book, also the same says that idea is nothing to do with the successful of your business, but it's about the executions. It's the same also here, and Nadiem Makarim also mentioned that. And if we see, however, there is a like gap, the danger of this. It happened with one company that they promise about the earphone. They get invested from the founders. They create the very good MVP, but by the time they deliver, they could not deliver. So the CEO reputations was like really plummeting. Like there is one, I forgot the product. So what happened is like during the launching, they bribed the YouTuber with around $500, and the YouTuber insulted. They got insulted because the product didn't work at all. But the company asked the YouTuber to mention, because they are still on the pre-order system, pre-order phase, and the YouTuber ended up with opening the bribery. I'll
serve them well.
Yeah. So, but this is the pitfall of doing the video MVP. What happened in the future? If many people could not deliver the video MVP, then this product, this strategy will not be applicable sooner or later on. It's, if this keeps happening.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Is there any other response? Donald, maybe? Did you say something?
For in startup, I think it depends also on the place and culture, because as Michael mentioned, the stigma about failure is important. For example, I used to be in Singapore, and in Singapore, at that time, nobody wanted to make startups. Everybody wanted to work for MNC, multinational companies, because of the reputation. Startup, you are asked by your future mother-in-law, where do you work? And some unknown company. Oh, okay. But if you work at Microsoft or Google, wow, my son-in-law is something like that.
Although as janitor.
Whatever.
I'm the janitor at Microsoft.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, nothing wrong with that, but
yeah, nothing wrong with that. So it's very important. Like in the US, actually very conservative, except for some places like Silicon Valley, Boston, and New York. Other than that, most people choose the safe way, mostly. Because in Silicon Valley, if you fail, you actually are more respected because you have tried. But in many other places, a string of failure is a negative stigma. So the culture is very important, I think.
Oh, Donald, actually, it reminds me also in Moonshot, they also talk about there are certain kind of environments that can foster failure into success. So they talk about Silicon Valley as well here. So if you are interested in that subject. So thank you, Michael. Any other response before we go on to the next presenter? One, two,
Thank
three.
you.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Next one is Nadia on my screen. It's right on the below Michael. Go ahead, Nadia.
Hello. So I've been reading this book, Humans, by Brandon Stanton. I think my key lessons from here is that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your religion is, what your economical background is, which part of the world you are now. I think at the end of the day, humans have the same basic needs that you want you and your loved ones to be safe, to be healthy, to be prosperous. So I find like lots of the stories remind me how similar we actually are. Even though there are some stories that depict, how evil some human can be, because there are stories of refugees and there are stories of victim of wars, and they mention how they suffer from the situation, and they mention about the other person or the other the other group treat their group in a very horrible way. But at the end of the day, I feel like I prefer to believe something. I think it's Mark Manson who mentioned it in one of his books, saying that there's only a few people who are truly evil in this world, but the rest, it's simply either ignorance or you're just not knowing how to do better or how to be better. So I prefer to believe in that. And at the end of the day, we are all the same. We want the same thing. We want good thing for us, for ourselves, and for our loved ones. So for me, it's a light reading, because every page there's one story, exactly like you find on Instagram if you're following Humans of New York. And I also found that some stories really emotionally strongly positive for me, but some are also emotionally drowning, like, oh my god, I cannot continue, I just need to call it a day, and I want to find something else to do, because it's very close to home, or even I cannot imagine how to be on their shoes. So I think that's also one of the takeaways that I have, like good time for reflection, and you can actually read it like very good 5 minutes. You get some stories, and then you finish, and then you have another time for deep thinking. Is there anything I don't like? I don't think it's something that I don't like, but I assume because this is not at all a practical books, so you get what you want to get. It really depends on what your intention to read it. If you want to finish the whole book in a day, I think it's doable. It's not a long stories anyway. But yeah, so it really depends on the reader. This is that kind of book, I think. And the rating for me, it's 4. And I think I can resonate with Donald's way in rating books. For me, 4 is actually very high. So I really enjoy it. And I really recommend this for anyone who wants to, have a light reading, reflecting things, just, busy with your mind wandering around. This is the book that you want to have. To get people's opinion about the key lessons, yeah, more than happy to hear your opinions or comments. But I think I can continue 5 before we go into discussion. What I want to read next is actually Great Mental Models by Shane Parrish. So I've ordered the 2 books by him, waiting for that. Yeah, so mental models is something that I've been into as well. More than happy to hear your thoughts.
Okay, wait, Nadia, the great mental models.
Yeah, so there are two volumes. It's called, I think, The Great Mental Models, both. The Great Mental Models Volume 1 and then The Great Mental Models Volume 2.
Okay, so my question is this book the collection of the text of Humans of New York on IG or Facebook?
It's different. So first of all, it's not only from New York. So there are stories from Jakarta, even from Singapore, from India, from different parts of the world. The way the story is told is exactly the same that you find on Instagram. Some stories I think are also available on Instagram. Some stories I didn't find it on Instagram because I'm quite I follow Humans of New York on Instagram, and there are several stories here that I didn't find on the Instagram. So yeah, the format is the same. The place is spread around the world, and yeah.
Thank you. Any response from the floor?
Does it give you mixed feelings because it's it's a compilation of many stories, and then for me, I don't know how to respond to lots of feelings in one book, so um I'm very intrigued to read that, but I'm afraid that whenever I read the one that's very sad, then I can go, oh my god, this is so sad, or even very inspiring. So can you just give a hint which one is very inspiring according to you? Thank you.
So two stories that really stick in my head. The first one is a story of I'm always drawn into family stories. So I'm going to give you context. So the photo is two men, adults. They're very look-alike, but you can actually sense that they are father and son without reading the text because they're very look-alike. One is like 20, 30 years old, and the other one is like double the age. Pretty, like you can see an old man, basically. And then the story started saying that there's the son, we don't know which one, but the son wants a bicycle. And then he also said that, yeah, I really wanted this bicycle. And then my father has this special ring for him that he really likes. And one day I noticed that he no longer uses the ring. And then I asked him, where is your ring? And he said, oh, it's temporary. It's basically somewhere being fixed. And it's not exactly mentioned when, but I deduced from the kind of words that he used, maybe when he got that bicycle that he wanted, he's like 10 or 11, 12, or maybe I'm projecting my nephews, like I'm picturing he's around my nephew's old, and then it's fast forward, he's probably the same age when he's shown on the picture. So he asked his father again, hey, where is that ring that you really like? I want to make something looks like that. And then his father said, oh, actually I sold that to buy your bicycle. But he kept that a secret for a long time until he's an adult. And obviously the son hasn't noticed that until his father told him. So I was like, wow, that is, I think, the kind of sacrifice parents make, that they are willing to, give up their joy, give up their precious things, happiness for the sake of their children. And obviously I'm very touched by that. And I was like, after that I closed the book and I was like, Mom, Dad, like I just, like I can resonate with the feelings. So that's one of the positive, uplifting stories that remind me of my values. So I think this book helps me to remind of things that are important for me, my values, my families, my friends, my love for something. And then there's another one I mentioned. There are two stories. Another one is about a story of a refugee saying that yeah, he shared the story how his village was destroyed, and then he decided to. I remember he mentioned that his village was attacked very early in the morning, like 2 a.m., 1 a.m., and then he ran away. Everyone ran away, and he saw bloods, everything. And somehow he decided to go back to see like what happened to our village, because everything was so scary, like it's so fast, and it was so loud. And actually he witnessed his schoolmate being raped by the soldiers. I read that, I closed the book, I called it a day, I don't want to continue to work. I cannot imagine myself. And that's 2020. So I think it's 2019, sorry. So, you know, like this thing happened in other parts of the world. So it's devastating, heartbreaking. And again, we're so privileged to be able to be alive, safe and healthy, and even have this group to you know to discuss what is important for us. So I just it's heartbreaking. At the same time, it reminds me of how much privilege that I've had in life. So yeah, this is that kind of book. Really recommend if you want to have a good time reflecting and yeah.
Thank you, Nadia.
Thank you, Nadia. Sorry, you lost me in a minute. My husband got locked out of the house, so he called me. He couldn't enter my house. Sorry. All right. So I listened to your story, Nadia. Thank you so much. So before we move on to the next one, any last response about Nadia's book? No. All right. Thank you. So I really recommend.
I actually have a question for Nadia, but not about the book. About what you mentioned earlier about Brian Greene and Tyson. Was it a podcast or what?
It's a podcast, Star Talk podcast. I can type it.
Star Talk. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Star Talk. All right. I've heard that before. Right. So yes, it's really an interesting book, and I find Humans of New York very fascinating as well. That's why it's always, it's popular, because the story of human life is always fascinating. There are always something we can learn from each other, right? That's why we're here as well. We actually not only learn about the books we've read, sometimes we also include our own stories in our explanation, which I really like about this meeting like this. Okay, so next one. Thank you, Nadia. Next one on my screen is Diaz. Okay, so Diaz, please share about you.
So hello everyone. This is the first time in Book Brewers that I present 3 books. It's not because I'm very good at reading or very fast, but merely because the book is only less than 100 pages, and then because it's on one series as well, so I decided to go through it all. And then the first one that I read is from those 3 are from, I don't know how to pronounce his name actually. Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Vietnamese Zen master, and he's one of the most Buddhist monk that is so productive at writing, and he wrote like around 20 or more books, and the one that I read is How to Walk, How to Sit, and How to Eat. He has another how to, it's how to love, how to live, how to relax, how to see, and then others how to, and the one that falls on the title like breathe deeply, something like that. It's very practical for me. And then yeah, Thich Nhat Hanh, but I don't know, is it the correct pronunciation? Okay. And the key lessons from it, the first one I read is the how to walk, because during this pandemic I haven't been walking that much, because previously I walk I don't count my steps, but I think it's pretty far, because I'm very used to walking around the airport all the time. And then when the pandemic when the pandemic situation, I just sitting in front of the laptop doing my work, and then like only a few steps from this room to my room, and to the and to the kitchen and to the bathroom. So it's very limited steps. And the teach Nathan taught about how to walk. He thought about the walking, like you cannot rush when you're walking, and then you have to be mindful when you're walking. And I think it's very logical, because otherwise if you don't really present in your walking, you might fall, you might skip, and then you might trip on your own shoes, something like that. And then uh like make a and he says, like, make a grateful expression, because you still can walk, and take your walk as a privilege, because your body is still able to do the walking. And then be thankful to the universe, be thankful to your God, and be thankful for your own body for still able doing your walk. And then what else and but one thing that he said is, feel the earth when you're walking. And I cannot really digest to that, because of course we feel the earth because we have the gravitation. Anyhow, my rating, so that's answering the question number 2, the one that it's not that I don't like, but I cannot really grasp the idea of feeling the earth. And then the rating out of 5 stars is 4, because it happens to be the right time when reading this book. And then do you want to get people's opinion? Yeah, I do want to get your opinion about, maybe you can tell about how you walk, because every person has their own style of walking. Sometimes we walk like very fast, or either small steps but very fast, or you take a longer steps and then walk very slowly, or I don't know, you have your own combination of walking. And then the book that I want to read next, because still me being generalist and my book has arrived, it's the Good Economics for Hard Times. I think the book won our voting. I forgot which month, long time ago. And then the book has finally arrived a month ago, and I decided to read it. It's 400 pages something, and that's my TBR list for next month. So I guess that's it. And for the I forgot. The how to sit is, I cannot share much, because we have been sitting. I'm pretty sure that you guys also have been sitting almost all day until you don't know what to do with your own sitting. And then but one thing I can share about your sitting is that, again, be grateful because you still can sit. Lots of people who got sick, they cannot even sit, they only able to lay down and breathe, and that's the only thing that they can do. But us, we can still sit, we can still walk, so be grateful for that. And then take a deep breath whenever you sit. And but then I think one thing I don't know how to say, skip maybe a bit about the sitting is, we cannot sit for too long. Even if the sitting is very mindful, even if we take a deep breath when we are sitting, still we have to be balanced with every activities that we are doing. And then he reminds me about how to breathe while sitting, which is related to the meditation practice, is to breathe from your belly instead of making your shoulders up and down. You should focus on your belly going going to the front and to the back. Because that's the correct way of breathing. You can try it right now if you want, because it helps you to have a to get a better oxygen into your body, into your neuron, and it's been very helpful for me since I'm still doing my midterm exams. So the sitting correctly with the good posture and the good breathing, it helps a lot. It really makes a lot of difference. So that's two. And how to eat, I haven't finished it yet, but because he's a Zen master, he always repeating stuffs about being grateful for everything that we have and consider everything that we own right now is the privilege. So I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
I have a question for Diaz. Yes, so if you somehow get the essence of Tan, I want to
Teach
pronounce.
Nathan.
Yeah, I want to pronounce his name correctly at least once. Let me. What's his name again? Teach
Nathan.
Teach Nat Han. Okay.
Yeah.
You got the essence of Teach Nat Han's books, which is about being grateful. Why do you still want to read about his other books? Because probably it's still about being grateful again.
Because he's a Zen master, and I'm still engaged with the idea of a calm monk, because one of the reasons I read his book is because I read this the monk who sold his Ferrari, and then I really like the idea of how he engaged all the meditation towards a better life, towards a more healthy life and stuff. And somehow I always can have new ideas about how to yes, the grateful is being repeated on words, and instead of that, I want to borrow his mind of from a Zen master's perspective, because he's the one who has his life of being in present, of helping people, and regardless your religion, there are lots of guidelines in life that we can have, and we can take from him. Lots of lessons as well. Yes, the grateful, I mean, I think every self development says this kind of stuff, repeat it over and over again. But because this is very practical and he puts it in different kind of series, I think I can still be able to fast reading or speed reading, just to get only the best ideas from the book.
But Nadia, if you speed reading, you don't live in the moment.
I know, but it's only 100.
You just you're completely doing the opposite of what Teach Nat Han's teaching.
Because it's I think it's less than 100 pages.
Be mindful.
In one page is not really, it's not really full, like and then lots of pages, he only put some illustration or some sketches through it, so of course I skip the sketch, something like that. And awakening joy, but I don't for me, I'm not interested into awakening something like that, but the how to is very practical, and I think it's the right time for me to read how to sit and how to walk, because that's two activities that I want to focus at this moment. So like this, sometimes it's only like half. Oh, we cannot see the virtual background, because it's only like half pages, and so in one like a scan reading, then that's it. I can go to the next page.
Well, after this, a lot of us here will be part of the group, so you can snapshot it for us and then share it in the WhatsApp group, right?
Okay, sure.
Okay, but wait until I include Michael, Nadia, and those who have been here 2 times. So yeah,
cool.
Again, Michael as well. All right, so thank you, Diaz, and I have shared my comment about Thich Nhat Hanh. He wrote a book, How to Love, but he himself never got married. He lives a celibate life as a monk. So that would be very interesting because it's not love that we kind of define love as, on day-to-day definition. And then Maimung wrote about good habit of walking is not to drag your feet or your shoes. Okay,
Correct.
yeah. Did he mention also about that in the book?
Lifting up, and then be present, and then feel the air, feel the earth. That's why I don't really. Why do you have to feel the air, but then you feel the earth?
Maybe
Since the
gravity.
gravity will take you down anyhow, so
You don't have to feel it, right?
and then ladies, if you have your high heel shoes, you cannot really feel the earth.
Yeah. You just feel the pain. The pain takes over. All right. So I want to talk about being dragging your feet because I do drag my feet. And I just realized that when I was in Netherlands, my side job was working in a restaurant, right, as a waitressing. So my managers kind of called me, Vivid, why do you drag your feet? Like everybody could hear your shoes, like that. Yeah, never noticed. And then after that, I started walking, not dragging my feet. And then when I returned to Indonesia, I took my father to a museum, right? And the museum, usually not so many people. And then I realized I could hear him from far away, his shoes. He also drags his feet while walking. Then I realized I probably picked that up from him. So yes, I used to drag my feet, but not so much right now. All right, thank you, Sadias, for the presentation. The one on my next one's actually Rizka, but Rizka messaged me. She doesn't want to present. I don't know why, but I will ask her to write about her books at least in the chat box. Okay, Rizka? So answer those 5 questions. Thank you. And then the next one is Mike Nicholson, our second mic or our first mic. Not sure which one.
We're going,
Go ahead.
Yay!
We're going on a journey down memory lane. This is a book I've had. You can't see it, I think. It's Dale Carnegie. It was published in the United Kingdom the year before I was born in 1948. But the reason I am about to read this one is How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And I think a lot of the books that Dale wrote, I think his Toastmaster book was 1905. So he's been writing for a very long time, and the continuity is from his publishing, from his company, Dale Carnegie Institute. But he is obviously somebody is worth reading. And the reason I'm going backwards is really because of COVID. I'd like to find feedback on people that lived through the Spanish plague period. What happened? Because that was a 2-year pandemic, followed by 10 years of financial disaster, the financial depression. So it'd be really interesting to see how things have changed in what's happening. I mean, in the 18-19 pandemic, 5 million people died when the population of the world was 50% of what it is at the moment. And at the moment, we're just creeping over 1 million deaths worldwide. So obviously things are hopefully better at the moment. But I think the impression that I get is people don't really know what to do at the moment. And I think a lot of people still, even 8 months after the beginning of this pandemic, I get the feeling they think that on Monday, they go back to work as normal. I don't think people realize the changes that are going to happen when things do go back to normal. The longer this lasts, the more I feel that this is still going to go on for another 1 year. I think this is 2022 before we're really clear and go and socialize. So I think it's really important that we use the next year wisely. I think too many people are like sleepwalking. They're going through life as if it's not really important. And it is important because this is life. I mean, this is it. And what I'm encouraging you guys to do is start journaling, write a diary, because I think there is a lot of information to condense from our experience that will be useful to others, maybe, you know, if you can publish soon enough. But certainly in the future, I think historians would love to know really what was going through our minds. And reading through Dale, yeah, is taking me back, you know, 50, 70, 100 years to go into that sort of that mindset. So that's on my list. I've had this since about 1980. So it's a long time since I last read it. The other one that I need to finish is Leila Chuduri's The Sea Speaks His Name in English. The English translation is now published, and the Indonesian Heritage Society will be discussing it as our monthly book in December. So I need to get reading on that one. But basically, I've getting more and more into reading books again. I really got taught out of reading novels when I was at university. As a student at school, I read literally a book a day. I was a bookaholic, literally. And it destroyed my eyes because I used to read by the street lamp through the bedroom window. Yeah, lights out 9 o'clock, but I used to keep reading until 11. And I got out of that when I went to university. And now I'm getting back into enjoying physically reading again. Yeah, and that's fun because I have more time. But I really encourage you to start writing your memoirs now. Don't wait until you're my age. It's a bit late. But, you know, write a diary, write a journal. Yeah, keep tabs of the information, the feelings you're having at the moment. Because I think it would be very interesting, yeah, to actually put something on paper and publish. And self-publishing is really easy. Yeah, so either do it individually or as a book Brewers group effort and have a discussion at some time. But again, you know, it's as I say, I think people are sleepwalking. Life is going on around us, and this is life. This is our feet on the ground, and people don't realize that. Yeah, so I think it's really important that we take note of what's happening, record it for posterity. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Any response from the floor?
My response. I think it's also similar with the concept of meditations that you realize what the present, isn't it?
Yeah.
Agree.
May I ask a question?
Sure,
Oh, fire away.
So what's your takeaway from sharing, I mean, from reflecting on what happened during the Spanish flu? Like what can we learn from that can be implemented now that you think is valuable to share?
I think, again, you know, as the title says, you know, stop worrying and live. Yeah, I think so many people are freaked out. They close their mind down to what's actually happening. Yeah, and that's obviously stupid. I mean, it's dangerous. You can't do that. Yeah, the life, as I say, is going on. You know, there are things happening. We can use the time wisely, even though it doesn't cost money. You know, it's very valuable to get involved in some of the university online trainings. Yeah, that are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 weeks, whatever. Yeah, they don't cost any money to enroll. Pick topics are interesting to you, and they're well produced, and you only pay if you want a certificate. Yeah, but there are so many. Yeah, I mean, the British government with the Open University and Learn Direct, yeah, have hundreds, thousands of courses, and you enroll for free. You have like a month longer than the recommended period. Normally they're designed to do 2 hours a week, so it's not a lot. Yeah, so if you take an 8-week, that's 16 hours. And you can literally sit down in the morning and finish that day if you wanted. Yeah, but the whole process is to give you an introduction to those topics. So it's just one one area that is available. People are doing it. People have been. I mean, sometimes I've got a bit carried away, and I pick 8 courses, and I'm doing 8 courses, and I get thrown out before the end. I don't have time. My eyes are bigger than my belly is. Yes. So I just, so the topics are so interesting. I just want to do, and I don't have the time. But the good thing is that these are repeated. So, maybe a 12-week course starting on the 1st of December, but it will be repeated again starting maybe the 1st of May. Yeah. So even if it's, you've missed the period, yeah, you can still catch up later. And if you start late in the course, yeah, you still carry on. I mean, once you're in, you then control how quickly you move forward. But yeah, it's really using the time we have, yeah, wisely, and getting most out of it, because it is not wasted time. Yeah, I think there is going to be so many. I mean, personally, yeah, I think there are going to be so many major changes in the way society operates worldwide in the next 2 to 5 years. Yeah, I think once we come out of this, there are going to be so many financial pressures on companies and countries. They're going to have to change. And with robotics, we've talked about, robotics, the influence of AI. Yeah, I mean, that is really, we don't talk about it. And we have to, because I read, 10, maybe 15, 20 years ago, that 50% of all current jobs were already redundant because of robots. And it just wasn't politically wise to fire half of your population and replace them with robots. Yeah, I mean, politically, you can't do that. So we're going to have to do something. Yeah, I think, 3-day work week, is not impossible to foresee. I mean, it sounds hilarious. Yeah, I mean, how are you going to pay for it? It can't be done. It's not going to happen. Why not? Yeah, the 40-hour work week, started off as an 80-hour work week in the 1800s. It's all because of Britain inventing the steam engine and setting up factories. People were concentrated from the fields into a building, and they were there for 10 hours, 12 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, making cloth, making material. Yeah. So that's only 200 to 300 years ago, and it will change. I say there's nothing cast in concrete, and I think the way we work as societies is really important. And people need to think, what are the options? We need to socialize it. And I think groups like this, where you are reading things, you're sharing what you're reading, is so valuable. I mean, this is an incubator for ideas. Okay. And, that is really important. People need to start talking and thinking, what's the impact?
Yeah. I actually agree with you, Mike, because it's not in the best interest even for the government to keep employing robots, because robots do not pay taxes. They don't consume products and services too. So it somehow can lead to recession as well. So thank you. I have to stop you because we have still 2 people and we only have 12 minutes left.
Oh,
all right. Okay. Thank you so much, Mike. Yay. So your next books will be the one by Dale or the one by...
Dale is more a revision. I mean, I've read it 40 years ago. So it's going to be a quick read. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm juggling. I'm, again, multitasking. The report on this book, The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling's, our last meeting, it has not moved 1 page. It is still here within touching distance. I just can't pick up
best book of 2012, chosen by Goodreads, unfortunately. All right, so Jerry told me he wants to skip his turn, so it's fine. Please put it on the chat box if you want to share with us what book you read recently. And then the next one is Mbak Imung. Mbak Imung, you want to share about the book you read recently, and I will post the questions on the chat box again.
Okay, thank you, Pipit and everyone. I have a book of my favorite actually, and I bought three. Two of them actually, missing in action. Like once I was traveling and on the plane, I brought this book, and the book full of all these, notes from me. And as a trainer, actually, this book is helping me a lot with many golden nuggets references. Yeah. And this book called Insights. So this is the third book that I bought. I had to go through again from the beginning because I love all the notes that I make.
Aimu, actually you can
Yeah.
contact the airlines that you had missing items from your
Yeah,
last flight.
yeah, I should have, but I didn't. And I thought, oh, okay. So I just wish anyone who got the book get the benefits out of it. So one in the airport, in the toilet, and the other one is in the plane. But
They're
anyway, this
probably,
book, yes,
I'd say they're probably still in Lost and Found.
probably, I don't know. I'll check it out. So this book is called Insights, How to Succeed by Seeing Yourself Clearly by Dr. Tasha Eurich. I didn't know that this author is actually also a TED Talk speaker. I only watched her after I bought and read the book. Anyway, this book is actually about self-awareness journey. And according to her, the self-awareness is actually the meta skill of the 21st century. Why is it? Because nowadays, the more challenge that we have because of our lack of awareness as an individual, as professional, and as part of the team or in organization. So this book full of references and information and some stories in it that you can also quote and retell if you want to read that. And also in the book, she said she and her team of researchers actually asked many people, hundreds of people, and they found out those people who are actually succeed in their uh, life, in their career, and she called these people as unicorn. They have a pattern, a few patterns, and that patterns I would like to share that with you. Um, and hopefully just not by reading it, at least you get something out of it. Those are the first one is that she said this unicorn possessed 7 distinct types of insights that unaware people did not. Yeah, the first one is they understood their values, and this is the principle that guide them. The second one is they understand their passion, what they love doing, they understand very well. The third one is they know their aspiration. This is what they do want to experience and what they want to achieve. The fourth one is fit, means that they fit with the environment that they require to be happy and they are engaged with that. So, and the fifth one is patterns, consistent ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving. So they become consistent in their way of thinking, their way of feeling and behaving. Because so many of us, we think different than what we behave, right? And the next one is the sixth, reaction. So the thoughts, the feelings and behavior reveals their capabilities is good. Yeah, so the reaction is good. For me, I think it's not the reaction. I have my own opinion on that because I think reaction is not a good way to behave, but to respond is the good way. So there are two ways of us to uh, how to say that, respond or react. React is mostly a negative one, and respond is mostly a positive one. And the last one is the impact how they understand the impact or the effect that they have on the others and on environment. So if we have these seven insights or seven distinct types of insights, we can call ourselves as a unicorn. I think. So at least that's the thing that I can share with you. Just to let you know, the part one is about roadblocks and building blocks. The second one is about internal self-awareness, the myths and the truths. Sorry, and the third part is external self-awareness, the truth and the myth. And the fourth one is how we see the bigger picture as a leader for ourselves and others. I think that's about it. So if you have a chance, get the book. It's about 300 something pages, 346 pages.
For me, I would prefer the one that you lost because you have already notes on it.
Yeah.
And I can
What
have
airline was
two
it?
more.
Maybe Diaz can help. Diaz works in the airline industry. What airline was it?
Okay, well, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So you can private message Diaz to find the quest to find the lost book.
Yeah.
The last book.
Okay, but actually maybe it's anyway. Yeah. Okay. No secrets in the book, yeah. So no one will find out any your dark past, though. Written in the
I
book.
only find gems. I mean, if you're too lazy to read, I mean, if you're not a good reader, then my notes will help people a lot. Actually, just
Oh wow, that's too bad. Yeah.
Copyright, eh?
Yeah.
All right. While you're looking for Emung's book, see if they have any other books there that are lost.
No, it's actually it's a pretty good novel story. Yeah, the quest to find the lost book.
Yeah.
It's not about the book; it's about the quest.
The quest, yeah, the quest. Oh, that's a good title as well.
Okay, so Rizka and Jerry have shared their their take on the book they recently read. So that means everyone has shared about their book. So we have used the last 2 hours in a productive way, and I think all of us learned a lot of lessons from each other. All right. So before we wrap up, I would like to invite everyone to turn on camera so we can take photo. I will edit Fajar out. I mean in, not out. In. Edit him in. Okay, so show your book, or if you put it as an ebook, show it also maybe the device. Okay. 1, 2. Jerry and you. Rizka? No?
Rizka is driving, huh?
Rizka is driving. All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me check first. So make sure no one is closing eyes.
Wait a second.
Blah, blah,
I think
blah.
I missed the book cover.
Just the book cover? Yes. Yeah, one more time.
And Donald, I have this too. So
Super thinking.
yeah.
One more time, guys. It's really good because it's our personal branding right here. One. Jerry, show your book. Any book. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Gotcha. Okay, so thanks everyone. If you want, you will be invited to WhatsApp group. Nadia told me she doesn't want to be invited to WhatsApp group because too many WhatsApp groups. She's so popular. But
that's not what I said. That's not what I said, by the way.
It's a popularity contest for Nadia. All right. So for those who have joined us 2 times, we will invite you to our group. And Mbak Imung, please come next time again. So you will invite us. We will invite you. I mean, the next meeting is on 12th of December. So please share about the book that you read between today until 12th of December. And we're very small group. The reason is because so everybody has a chance to speak like this, right, during this 2 hours. I think this is the best model so far. So before I close the meeting, anyone have concern or feedback, blah, blah, blah?
Just a quick question, and I'll go. I'm not sure the intention of the recording. It makes me a bit uncomfortable, but I'm okay. I can live with it. Just questioning what the intention behind it. And thank you so much, everyone. I really enjoy this. Get lots of advice, beautiful suggestions on the book. So I need to run. Look forward to be invited, if I may, for the future Zoom meeting.
Okay, so the intention recording this book, sometimes when we discuss about something, there's like brilliant ideas, brilliant opinions from somebody, and it's really bahasa Jawanya eman-eman ya. It's too bad if it's not recorded because it's not written language, right?
If I'm taking notes, will that be okay? I'm happy to take notes.
Taking notes is fine. I mean, you know,
okay.
We infringe on your rights here, and our other member usually just upload it straight away to YouTube without asking us and just give us the link.
Where is he, by the way?
Yeah. But he's not here today. That's why I'm replacing him right now recording. But if you mind, just let us know. In general, we don't find it, you know, infringing our privacy. We just want to preserve your ideas somewhere. If you need to look back.
Another perspective that I would like to share, I think it's nice, especially that you mentioned about having intimate small group. I consider that a safe space. So preserving the safety of the space, I prefer not to record it if I have to choose. And if the intention is actually to collect the notes and all the nuggets and the insights, I'm happy to take notes for future meetings. And that is something that can be shared about the insights, but not necessarily about the personal points. I think we want to, you know, preserve it just for this group to honor everyone who comes as well. So that's my perspective.
Yes. So what do we do then? Should we mute your part?
Oh, no. I'm good. I said I can live with it. I can live with it.
Right.
I'm just questioning whether
if you can live with
there is
it,
a better
then
way.
No lawsuit, no screaming lawsuit right here. All right. I can take it. I can take that. All right. So Mike, do you want to say something just now?
Yeah, I was just going to say about 50 million messages ago, I put a message in about Jakarta, history of a misunderstood city. There is a Peri Plus book reading and discussion with the author at 3:30 for 4 today. So the Zoom links are there, or give me a message and I'll send you the longer link, you know, the quick touch link.
Mike, did you have the Zoom link or the YouTube link only? Because the Zoom link is only for invitation.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've got the invitation for you.
Yes.
So
you know what? I usually won something.
Code.
Usually won something. Last time I won 100,000 vouchers at Peri Plus.
Wow!
Oh, let's go.
Congratulations!
Yes. So join it, guys. Sometimes they have quiz.
What I've included was the Zoom meeting code, yeah, and the passcode.
Yay! Okay.
Straight in. Yeah, you don't need to YouTube it.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Mike. I will not close this, so everyone can try to find the chat. But Mike can share it by WhatsApp, yeah? Yes?
Yeah, if you put me in the WhatsApp group, I'll share it.
All right, yeah, sure.
I'm not in the WhatsApp group yet. But
yeah. You will be in 30 seconds. Okay, bye everyone.
I'll put it in there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
See you on the
Bye.
12th.
Great weekend.
Bye-bye.